All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Level Up Together meeting. Let's see. Let me just share my screen now. How do we do this? There it is. Okay. All right. You guys can see my screen here. Today is January 20th, and we are starting our roundtable discussion. And we'll be going through placebo and nocebo, UPC, why tapping works, fractionation and defractionation. So let's see how far we get to today. All right. And just a little disclosure that this meeting is being recorded. And by participating, you give me the consent to include you in the recording. Um, these videos will be shared via YouTube on the UTAPTICS groups on Facebook. I'm a level 4 practitioner. I'm here um, as your host and a guide. This is a roundtable discussion where everyone's perspectives and everyone's experiences and insights are valuable resources for everyone because we all grow together. So here we are. Let's stop sharing and let's get started. All right. I don't know where Torian went, but here we are. Okay. So I have page number 68 on my level 1 book. And if you all can open up your book and we can start reading. We read a little bit placebo and nocebo last week, but we kind of didn't finish it. So we can start it all over again. Because it's always good to repeat and rehearse and just get deeper. All right. So who would like to read? Hey, Randall, welcome. We're just starting.
Are we
Page
on the
six,
top of page 69?
placebo and nocebo effect. Mine is page number 68. Yours might be just
Oh,
around there
fine.
somewhere.
Okay.
Yes,
I can start reading.
please.
Where it's important facts, there, right there.
Uh, the page before has the placebo and nocebo effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The mind's great ability to heal or not to heal. Placebo and nocebo effects. The placebo effect is defined as experiencing a beneficial effect resulting from a placebo drug or treatment that cannot be attributed to the properties of the placebo itself and must therefore be due to the patient's belief in the treatment. It is the mind's great ability to use belief, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and imagination to heal the body. Whatever the mind does, the body follows. Something you do correctly inside your mind has beneficial effects on your body. The nocebo effect is the mind's great ability to not heal despite the effectiveness of the drug or treatment given. People may be convinced that nothing will help them. These people may remember a terrible experience with a doctor, are rehearsing it, and therefore believe the treatment is not going to work, and it doesn't.
Ah, any insights on that, Mary?
Oh my gosh, yes, tons of insights. I've seen it so much in my own life. You know, I had cancer. I had a tumor in my arm, and it was the bad kind, and it was right after my husband had killed himself, and that they wanted me to go through treatments and drug trials and things like that. But I was bound and determined that I wasn't going to let this cancer take me down. So I should have, but I didn't do any follow up or anything like that. And I've been cancer free now for since 2011.
It's
So
amazing.
I know I it's just amazing. And I have a sister who I can see the nocebo effect on. She she was dealing with some nerve pain, and she just started going down the rabbit hole of nothing's going to work, nothing's going to take care of anything. She was poring over her diagnosis and Googling every single word. And it was uh, it was really kind of scary because I see her getting worse and worse, and she's talking herself into it. And she's only looking at what serves her condition getting worse rather than taking responsibility and looking at other avenues. So thanks for letting me share.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's really powerful, this stuff. Hey, Torian, you have some insight?
I do actually. I when I was at undergrad, I got the chance to help with a drug trial, and we had it wasn't a double blind study, it was just a blind study, so they didn't know who was. It should have been double blind for it to be more effective, but whatever. Um, uh, but we had people that were getting the drug, we had people that thought we were getting the drug, and then we had people that we told were getting the drug, but we told them it wasn't very effective. Like we were just like when we were talking about it, we didn't talk very like the people that were doing the placebo and like had the drug, we were like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. Like, but with the nocebo group, I guess you'd say, we were like, yeah, it might work, maybe. Like, but it was like weren't talking very like good about it, but they were still getting the drug. But it didn't work for them. But it was just really interesting to see that like the drug worked for the people that like were actually getting it. It worked for the placebo people because they believed it was happening, but then the people that weren't getting it, it wasn't working for because they were just so negative about it. It was just
So
really
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
That is so interesting. We have to wonder about it.
I was just like, it was just like undergrad like study, so that I got to be a part of, but it was just weird to watch that. I was like, but you're getting you should be getting better. And
Exactly.
I'm like, you shouldn't be getting better.
Yeah.
But
That shows you it's all in the mind, you know?
mhm.
Yeah. Anyone else has any experiences, insights to share on placebo and nocebo? Hey, Jason.
Hey, how's it going, Tristy?
Doing good. Good to
Doing
see
good.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. One of the insights I had for the nocebo was when they were doing physical placebos.
Hmm.
So there was a study that I'm not sure who did it, but I was going over it a while ago, and basically they had older people who were, generally in bad health, a little bit overweight, and they had knee problems. And they went in and they had three groups. One where they brought these people in, they were completely immobile, and they did the first group, they did a surgery, a knee replacement surgery. They did the full surgery and away they went. The second group, they did an incision and they washed out the knee with saline solution. And then the third group, they just did an incision and they did absolutely nothing and just sewed them back up. And in that group where they did absolutely nothing, like the recovery rate was about the same through all of the groups. And the group where they did nothing, about 30 or 40% of the group that had just an incision made, some of them were in walkers, wheelchairs, all of these things were, they were up, they were walking, some of them started jogging, started exercising again. And we often think the placebo, we it can make changes in the mind, but just that change, it was a physical placebo. So it actually changed the physical, like there was on all of the scans and everything, there was deterioration, there was like bone on bone in some cases, the muscles were destroyed, and just the thought of having that surgery completely reversed the physical issue as well. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of like a physical placebo like that. And it works with the nocebo too. People are told things like the charts get screwed up in a hospital and they're told that they're going to die. They die like the next day and there was nothing wrong with them. So it can cause physical and emotional changes through those through the placebo effect. So I just wanted to share that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Makes you wonder about everything.
It's
The
all
whole,
crazy. It's all makes you reevaluate a few things when you see these
it
effects,
does.
right?
It really does. Yeah. And especially like, like Mary, she had her personal example of cancer on her arm and she decided, no, she's not going to do it. And she fixed it. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Anyone else would like to share anything? All right. We can continue reading. Who would like to read? Anybody would like to read from the book?
I can continue.
Go, Mary. Yeah.
Both, both instances happen because of what the patient is doing in their mind to a large degree. Other factors do contribute, such as hypnosis of language or the white lab coat effect, when someone has perceived authority because of the position they're in. When a statement or claim is supported by sources we trust, the mind accepts it to be true and creates the expected results. This is the power of belief. When the placebo and nocebo effects have in common is that the individual is doing the same basic process within themselves, believing in the concept. They are using what eutaptics refers to as the universal pattern of creation to generate results that are in alignment with belief. Important facts about placebo and nocebo. Number 1, the body follows the mind. Number 2, placebo is the mind's great ability to heal despite the fake treatment. Number 3, nocebo is the mind's great ability to not heal despite the real treatment. True healing comes from not your local physician, but from the courage to transform all hurtful memories of the past.
Thank you.
Universal, did you want me to continue?
Anybody else would like to share anything? Anything else? Placebo, nocebo.
A little metaphor that came to mind for me was that if you have a dog and you give a dog a name, eventually he's going to respond. So that's just kind of what I have in my mind. Like if I feel a limiting belief come in, I check it now instead of accepting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, you know, we go to the doctors for everything and then we get a label and then we start believing in it. Like you said, if you give the dog a name, it will respond. Certainly. I personally like, I had lots of digestive issues and you start thinking about it and then, oh, this food is causing me this and that food is causing me that. And then the more you start believing in it, the more you give it the power, it takes the power over over us, over our body, over our mind. Instead of like, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just gonna stop believing in it. And, there's nothing wrong with my body. It's just the past memories and how I'm holding it is causing it. So as soon as I stop believing in that stuff, I could just like notice, oh, it doesn't matter what I eat or not. I still have the same symptoms. And then, and then you start cleaning up the past, you start cleaning up the hurts, and that goes away. So it's really powerful stuff. Yeah.
I got one. In
Okay.
a Joe Dispenza book, he talks about this guy who got a diagnosis that he was, I think it was throat cancer or something, and that he only had 6 months to live. And so, like, at the end of 6 months, it was Christmas. So he had it in his mind, oh, I just want to spend Christmas with my family. That's all I want. I just want to have Christmas with my family. And then Christmas came, he had Christmas with his family, and then he died really shortly afterwards. And then the doctors figured out that they had been reading the wrong person's scans, and this guy was perfectly healthy. He was totally fine, but he died because he thought he was going to die.
That's powerful.
Right?
It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a whole book. I'm pretty sure it's called the Nocebo or the placebo effect. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lawsuit off of that has to have been like millions. That family owns that hospital now.
Yes. All right. The universal pattern of creation. This is powerful stuff. Who would like to read? All right,
I can.
Torian, go for it. Oh, yeah.
Is there somebody else
I was like,
reading?
I should raise my hand on the thing, but yeah.
Oh, did you want to share anything else, or would you like to read, Torian?
Oh, I thought that's what you said. I thought you said Tori,
Yes.
and if you said a different person, I'm so sorry.
Oh, would you like to read, Torian?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
I'm sorry. I I was going like this, and I didn't realize if someone else or someone else's name like Tori or something, and I misheard. Uh, the universal pattern of creation and belief. Your thoughts are a continuous request for a creation in your life. When you hold the images in your mind, you make them real inside, and it works with the world to make it so. Remember, what you hold inside is the filter through which you perceive the world. This is true for both positive and negative situations. When you practice negative memories or future worries, your mind perceives experience through that filter. When you practice positive memories or future success, your mind perceives it through that filter. It goes back to what is a belief, proofs and emotional resources that feel real. So we are constantly looking for proofs that support what we believe to be true. Our minds naturally seek to prove what we believe as true, and will fight ways find ways to be right despite evidence to the contrary. Here's how your subconscious, unconscious mind, limbic system, and conscious mind work together to produce results based on a belief. Number one, every experience is interrupted by the or interpreted by the subconscious and unconscious mind and limbic system, given meaning based on the data given meaning based on the data, proof, and evidence in the form of memories, currently held in the subconscious, unconscious mind, and limbic system from previous experiences, and then organized, um, uh, added to the existing data and filed. Number two, with every new experience that is subconscious, unconscious mind, and limbic system refers to the data, evidence, and proof in the form of memories, and prompts the brain and body to respond with chemicals that cause emotions, feelings, sensations, and impulses according to that information. The conscious mind registers those feelings, emotions, sensations, and impulses, and makes decisions based on them. Um, uh, the perception, the perception and perspective of conscious mind on the conscious mind is determined by these feelings. Number four, the decisions and actions taken by the conscious mind based on the prompting of the subconscious and unconscious mind and living system create new experiences that remain in alignment with previous experiences, reinforcing the beliefs.
Any insights on that, Torian?
Um, yeah, just like from like if you like, I feel like I have a lot of friends that like like seeing it through the filter. Like I have a friend that she has the worst luck. She just does. But she always says that she has the worst luck, like consistently. Like she's like everything bad. Like she just like I mean she's fun to be around, but it's just she has the worst luck. Like it's empirical. You can see it, but it's like and then I have another friend that like used to do that and then I don't know I've said something to one of the other friend, but she didn't listen to me. But my other friend was like, "Huh, I do say that a lot," and then her luck changed. She's someone that finds $100 bills now, and I'm so I feel like it's like how you like perceive the world of like everything bad happens to me, everything like things are just gonna continue to bad to happen to you, and your friends are gonna go, "Damn, that sucks." or or if you have the belief of like everything good happen, like my mom specifically, she is very like money just flows to the woman, like she finds money like just like on the street like and so like that because she has the belief that like that flows to her and everything. Like I feel like that's whatever you believe, like I don't know, the it's gonna show up in your life more. And
True.
like
That's
what
so
how
true.
like whatever like you're putting your like lens you're putting your life through. Like I don't know. So especially with like my friend that has the worst luck and everything. I feel like if she changed her like wave even talking about it, like even if she's thought about it like that, just talking about it out loud about that, I feel like she's like her life would start to change a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever we say, our unconscious is listening, and then it'll find all the proofs to make it true. Yeah. Tammy, hello.
I was watching, hi. I was
Yeah.
watching a, a neuroscientist on YouTube, and he said it doesn't matter. He can go into any room and he can say, "How many of you are lucky?" And it's always 10% raise their hand. And when he started questioning them, like, what are you doing that makes you lucky? He found out that it's just their identity. They just believe it. And so,
So interesting.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then they are
That's
lucky.
great. That's amazing. Just the identity shift.
hmm Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what it says. What is the belief? If the belief is, everyone's out to get me or nobody likes me or um, I always have bad luck or if it's the opposite, I always have good luck. It doesn't matter what it is, it's gonna be provided, right? So there's gonna be proof for it.
It will be. Hey, Mary. Definitely. Thank you, Tammy.
I have a question. It's kind of, I mean, it's not just about memories. It has so much to do with our words too, because, um, I can say, I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to get it. Even though I've had past experiences where I've gotten it. Um, so it seems like, there's kind of a fine line between the two, or they're so dependent on each other. Where, so is it the thoughts come first and then the words come, or the words come and then the thoughts come, or, um, so if we're gonna go with a nocebo effect, and we just start repetitions and things like that, I'm a little bit confused about that because I've been looking into some hypnosis and NLP lately, and it seems like the power of words can trump all those memories. But then, I have a million reasons why positive affirmations don't work too. So it's just I find it just kind of interesting.
Jason, you have something to say about that?
Yeah, I have a thought on that
Hmm.
because I was thinking a very similar question for many years. I was sort of contemplating that same sort of relationship. And I have a thing I always say to my wife is you can say whatever you want as long as you don't believe it. So it's like in one situation where like I remember watching a movie with Eddie Murphy from Delirious, and he would like lean in really funny and he would like say, you're a son of a bitch. And everybody would laugh. And like, if somebody called you a son of a bitch, it normally would be a very negative experience. And it really depends on your tonality, you're communicating with your tonality in your voice or your physiology in your body. And so you can basically, if you're saying any words that you say, you can say the most horrible things. And like, you see comedians do it all the time, and for some reason people will laugh at it. And it's like, if you heard somebody on the street say that, you'd be like, that's the most horrible thing I've ever heard. And it's like, when those feelings pair with the words, that's when the power happens. When you link the belief systems and the power behind the words, that's when you, like, you're either, if you're talking about the nocebo, if you really believe that that chart was true that you saw, and you really believe that, or if you think in your head, oh, that was just a mistake, that's not me, it creates a whole different intensity behind the words. So you could see it and just dismiss it and say it's the wrong thing, or you could see it and have like a charge of like energy and feeling behind it. And that's what activates the words, is the feeling that's behind it. So the words can be empty. They're usually empty without feelings, but we're subconsciously putting all of this energy behind it. And that's what ends up bringing it into reality. And that's been my experience with it.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Mary?
Yeah, it's yeah, because the words can trigger memories, and the memories can trigger words. Yeah, it's very interesting. I just love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess ultimately we just have to, hey Tammy, I was just gonna say we have to just go clean the memories anyway, because they will keep empowering our words and thoughts. And then just we have to watch what we are saying to ourselves and what we put power to. Like, if somebody says something, are we giving it power or not? Yeah. Tammy, did you have something?
Yeah.
Yes?
This was
Yeah.
really interesting for me because my background in studying the Bible growing up as a kid, it was always Jesus
Hmm.
said, what you believe, whatever you believe, whatever you believe. And I was like, but we can't change what we believe. And just like I wrote, like before learning from Robert, I just thought my thoughts just popped in. I remember driving down the road and thinking, you should run off the road and hit that tree. But I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't depressed. I just had a thought pop up. And I'm like, weird. Like I just thought that they just came from nowhere. But now, after working with so many people and also studying this, and I think that's what this is saying, is that the belief creates a thought. And then the thought creates an emotion, and then the emotion creates an action, and then that creates your result. So if you think like somebody says a word, if you believe it's a bad thing, then you're going to have a thought about it, and then you're going to have an emotion. And if you believe it's just like what Jason was saying, it's like, I mean, because I had this situation, my ex-husband had paid prostitutes before I realized it and got a divorce. And so the word prostitute was like somebody just like strangled me. And so one of the practitioners worked on that word, and all of a sudden she said it, and I was like, oh, it feels like a light. It feels like air or something. Like I can't feel it. And the belief was gone. So the word felt different.
Yeah. So cool. Definitely. And then it's not creating any emotion. It's not creating any, yeah.
Yeah, like
And that's
with
how we
with
protect ourselves so it doesn't go in and start affecting our body. Sorry,
Right.
yeah,
Jason.
yeah, that process happens, that nominalization process, where we are like, we think like a thought and a feeling, but there was like all these other steps that happened in between that just sort of fired off. Like it's like that stimulus response. Your mind, all these filters and beliefs were activated to trigger a feeling at the end of that line, and we don't even realize it happens. And like, I thought that was super helpful how Tammy just broke down like all of those steps in between, because when you become aware that it's an actual process that we're doing instead of an automatic like a one-to-one, We think this and that, and it all happens, and we just think thought happened or the feeling happened. You really break down all of those things. You can see how one led to the next, and that's how you got there. And it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
actually, the memory is how we know what to believe. Like that's why that's such a foundational piece. Change the memory, and then all of a sudden, the word doesn't bother me. And all of a sudden, the sensation's not there, you know? So the memory is what made us believe something. If mom and dad are always like, you broke this, and that's bad. And we might feel like we don't have more value than a vase or something that broke, right? A plate. But that belief is sitting back there as long as that memory is there.
Yeah, love it, Tammy. Thank you. Definitely. I like how you broke it down, that belief creates um, like, if you don't mind repeating that again, the belief creates
Thought,
the thoughts. Mm-hmm.
and then the thought creates the emotion.
Right.
So, whenever we have an emotion, we could always say, what was I just thinking? And we can always find it. So it has to kind of be in that order. And then the emotion creates the action. So if we're scared, what are we going to do? We're going to back up, we're going to run, we're going to whatever. And then the action, then that creates the result. And of course, that's like what a habit is. But that's how the brain is wired to just like do this habit, do this habit, do this habit.
Love it. Thank you. That makes so
Sure.
much sense. Yes. Perfect. All right. Anyone else has any insights on that? Bullseye. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. We could read the next page. Anyone would like to read the next page? Hey, Jason.
Hi. Okay, so we use the basic formula of universal pattern of creation to generate all results in life. Number one, the mind created a desired outcome or goal would be the first step. Step two, feel it to be true. Imagine the feelings you will have when you have accomplished your outcome or goal. Start looking for the evidence that your desired outcome is unfolding. Number four, affirm it is true. Five, live and act as if it were true. Knowing this formula gives you the tool to create anything you desire in life. Though it is the same formula to create the negative things we have in life, we can be aware of this and intentionally focus on and practice all of the positive outcomes we would like to have. Important facts about the universal pattern of creation. Number one, important fact: beliefs are based on evidence, in quotation marks, evidence from the past in the form of memories that is accompanied by feelings. It is the feeling that makes the belief seem true. And a little thing on that is, I heard it said once about a belief. A belief is nothing but a feeling of certainty that something is true. That was like the simplest way I ever heard it described. And it was saying, like, if you believe in Santa Claus, you just have a feeling that Santa Claus is real. It's a feeling of certainty that that is true. Or if you believe in God, you have a feeling of certainty that God exists, or you feel you're a failure. It's just a feeling of certainty linked with those past memories of proof. That's what Robert sort of added to that. But that was a simple way. So it's really just that thought with feeling linked to it, feeling of certainty that something is true or not. Our perception is determined by those beliefs. The feeling that makes the belief seem true, whether it really is true or not, creates a filter for what we experience and notice in the world and in ourselves and how we experience it. Three, the universal pattern of creation is the process through which we create what we believe. The belief, based on evidence held in the subconscious, unconscious mind and limbic system, and accompanied by feelings, affects our perception, which determines our actions and decisions, which results in the experience that affirm in experiences that affirm that belief.
Thank you. Would you like to share anything else about that, Jason?
Yeah, it's just that feeling of certainty. Like I always used to think of beliefs as these like big unchangeable things that like you couldn't really quantify what it was. Like where do they come from? How are they formed? You just believe sort of just this series of things based on your experiences. It's really hard. But when you understand it's just a feeling that you feel certain that something is true or not true, it makes it so much easier to be able to handle it and deal with it. You're like, when you have different references, then all of a sudden that feeling changes. That you can change it very quickly.
Oh, definitely. Thank you. Yeah. Mary, did you raise your hand? Would you like to share something?
Okay. Hi. No, I just had my hand up there to read a moment ago. No, on that, I think that when we're trying to create something, and there's all this talk now of manifestation for many, many years, and most people kind of feel it hasn't worked for me, it's not going to work. And what I'm aware of here is that it's like what it says in the Bible, if you believe without inner doubt, it will come about. And the inner doubt is our experiences, our beliefs, and our past memories that cause us to doubt our ability to achieve something, to have something, so that okay, we can look at our ultimate goal and say, yeah, this is what I want. I'll imagine it. I'll believe it. I'm there. I'm having it. And you have all the feelings that go with it. But if there's a niggling thought that, says, well, it didn't happen in the past and why should I believe it's not going to happen now? Am I only fooling myself and whatever? And I think that this is where the work comes into play, because it will weed out those contrary thoughts to what you want. It will work on the memories that have created the doubt, so that you can release the doubt, and then you have an open pathway, if you like, to manifest and to create what it is you do want. But it's like it's not enough to say, oh, I let those go. I'm going to believe this. I want this. Because in my experience, from the work that I do, it's like, people want the best for themselves, but deep down, they don't believe the best for themselves because of past experiences and hasn't worked out before. It's like, I'm lucky or I'm not lucky. And these beliefs that are coming from a place of, like Santa Claus, there's no inner doubt. It's going to happen. And that's the place we need to get to. And to get to that place, it's like we have to work on the stuff that's in the way of us achieving and, what we want in life.
Right. True. Very true. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hey, Tori.
This just kind of reminded me of what, because like what you believe is like I've seen some living I don't know, I guess proof of it lately, because like we all know the job market right now is not great, but I understand that that's actually happening, but I've been refusing to accept that as something in my life. And my friend, like, I have a lot of friends that have the same, like, degrees, same everything as me, and they're not finding any, like, jobs, or, like, they're having a really hard time finding jobs and everything. And, I think because I don't know, I've just refused to accept the job market's bad when I get like went down right after my master's. I'm refusing to accept that happened to me. And I'm not even like trying for a job right now, and because I have some other stuff going on, and I'm getting job offers left and right, like constantly. And like my friends are like, dude, like what are you doing differently? I'm like, our resumes are the same. Like they're the exact same. And I'm like, I refuse to believe the job market was bad. I don't know, man. And like they just like they've gotten starting to kind of like see, like I had one friend that's like she stopped, like I'm sure she still believes it in her head, but she stopped saying it, and she's gotten 2 job offers in the last like week or two. And I'm like, there you go. If you could just keep sitting there saying job market's bad, I can't get anything, you're not going to get anything. Like the powers of Indeed are not going to come to you. I don't know how anybody else, whatever search engine other people use for jobs, but Indeed is the one I use. But yeah, it was just interesting to see, like, like it not really affect me because I just decided that there wasn't happening, and then I have a like seeing my friend like lessen her like negativity about it, and like jobs started actually coming back to her and every like thing like that. I just thought it was like interesting as like a physical proof thing.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like just like Tammy said, that belief caused a thought, I mean, she has this thought, and then that's causing the actions, that what kind of actions are they taking because they're believing that the job market is bad. So if they stop believing that, then their actions change and their attitudes change about life and the job market. They show up in a better way, in a better attitude, with a better mindset, for an interview or whatever. And exactly. So it depends on the job, on the belief, and then the results are different. So yeah,
Yeah.
it makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything would you like to share? And so like then we can use this UPC, the universal pattern of creation, to do positive stuff because we use it for negative. So we just might as well use the same process to create positive what we want in our life. All right. So if we are all good on the universal pattern of creation, we can go to why does tapping work? Who would like to read? Hey, Mary, would you unmute yourself, please? You're
I was
muted.
trying.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm muted. Okay. Why does tapping work? Why tapping works can be easily explained in three basic ways. One, tapping on the meridian points and taking a deep breath creates relaxation. According to Chinese medicine, the meridian system is a network of energetic pathways with points along it which correspond to specific organs throughout the body. When we have thoughts, conscious or unconscious, they create reactions in the body, felt as stress and emotions. The subconscious, unconscious mind, limbic system, is the storage facility for memories and experiences. It attaches autonomic responses from past recordings of experiences from which thoughts and beliefs are created. 2, after focusing on a memory, you'll go into autonomic trance, feeling as if you were there at various degrees, which means the limbic system creates internal reactions to the memory. When you are tapping the limbic system will introduce the new sensation, the relaxed response, adding it to the memory, and therefore updating the memory. As you tap on each modality of a memory, visual, auditory, gustatory, olfactory, and kinesthetic, it will rewire the memory with the new information. 3, defractionation. As stated earlier, when anyone goes into a memory, they go into an autonomic trance. Our goal is to break the trance by introducing a disruption, introducing new information associated to the memory by tapping, silly questions, or kinesthetic responses that will collapse the memory, all aspects, visually, kinesthetically, auditory, olfactory, and gustatory, therefore rewiring neurology. Basically, a bad, good collapse.
Any insights on that, Mary?
Well, I suppose the first step is that tapping on its own, my understanding is that tapping on its own isn't enough and it doesn't work. Tapping creates the relaxation response initially. And that when and that it's like the stress that's felt in the body can be relaxed through the tapping, but it won't necessarily change memories. And that to change the memory or the perception of what it is that's causing us problems, we have to create a disruption in that sort of automatic reaction that we have when we're operating from the unconscious, where we're not consciously aware of our reactions to something, so that when we disrupt that pattern, now we have an opportunity to slip in and change the actual outcome of the original memory. It's like he speaks about there, the bad good collapse. So when you introduce something good into a negative memory, while having relaxed the body and the mind, it's kind of like it slips in and the unconscious takes it on board without fighting it off, which the conscious mind will do. The conscious mind will say, no, that's not going to work for me. No, that's not going to happen. So that it will, yeah. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
So very, very, very good. Thank you so much. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone else? Hey, Mary.
Well, I have a question about number 2. So we focus on a memory and then we kind of go into an automatic trance. So Robert will say like, just picture the memory. So we do, and a lot of times I feel it in my body and stuff like that. And I just feel like I don't tap enough. Like it's so deep in there. Like I can't get it. I can't get it. Or I don't understand how the tapping works when you add a new memory. Is it just because you're so relaxed that your subconscious is out of the way, where like can someone explain that a little bit more?
So I'll talk about a little bit of how I understand, and we can all share. So basically, when you go to the memory, you're going to your autonomic trance. You're in the trance of the memory as if it's happening right now. And then we are consciously uh, doing the tapping. Now, the tapping could just be let it go, let it go, let it go. But sometimes that's not enough for us to step out of that old memory into the present moment. And so, what I might just do is turn on some music, get up and dance, do jumping jacks, um, do some tongue twisters, pull up some jokes, pull up some funny videos. What you want to do is get out of the old memory, do something funny, relaxing, something different. Or if it's not such a big one, just tapping, looking around, let it go, looking around your room, um, count all the vegetables you can think of, or start singing a nursery rhyme, whatever. You just want to get out. It's not about like how long you tap. Like if you say, I'm not tapping enough, all you have to do is like let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Or just say a tongue twister. Um, you know, Basically it's about getting out of the old memory, coming back to the present moment, just stepping out of that, taking a deep breath, that anchor, just get back anchored into your peace state, going to a good memory because you don't want to a good happy memory while you're in the bad state. Just go back and feel good. And now go and look at that memory, the old memory. It would take the state of, the good, happy memory, a good state, peaceful state, happy state, and it will inject some of that into the bad memory. And you do this over and over again. You defractionate it. So
Oh,
that basically you're just step by step, you're putting the good stuff into the old memory, and then it will change.
so repeat it rather than try to intensify it, just repeat it. Like,
Yes.
Don't try to tap the heck out of it one time, just defractionate and then do it
something
again.
little, something funny, something little, something small. You just want to make sure you don't go into your good memory while being in the bad state. And that's why we interrupt it by defracking it, by doing something funny, or just, sometimes just saying, let it go, will get us enough out of the bad state to go to the good state. And from that good state, we go inject some of this good stuff into the bad one. And you keep doing it over and over again.
One,
Sometimes just one will take care of it. Sometimes you'll have to do it over and over again. Just depends on the intensity of the memory.
Well, I've had so much practice at intensifying the bad memories that I think that it just takes a little bit more repetition for me.
Yeah,
Because I noticed in the beginning when I started this that I would be stuck in that state of upset for so long that
yeah,
I was kind of wallowing in it, not being able to get anything positive in there, but I should have just done more mindfulness at that moment.
yeah. We all do it. We all do it because
Okay, thank you.
sometimes something is just the biggest trigger to us and we just like to wallow in it. So it's about just taking charge of our brain. And it's hard in different areas of our lives. Some areas it's like no problem, I can get out of that. And sometimes it's like so dear to our hearts that we want to stay in that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Thank you.
I know. Yeah, you're welcome. Jason, you were saying something?
Yeah, I had a similar issue with that for a really long time. Like I followed, like been doing tapping like with Gary Craig and thought field therapy and stuff like a million years ago. And I would in the moment when I was like right in the heat of it, I'd have really good success. But if I tried to change things after the fact, I couldn't make any changes, and I just struggled with that. Like knowing like what am I supposed to be tapping on? Like how am I actually supposed to do this? And one of the things that really helped me through that process was tapping on the structure of the problem, not on the problem itself. It's like, what are you feeling about the feeling? So I'm sitting here and I'm mad. I'm really mad. And I'd be like, this anger, and it's this anger, and it just wouldn't go away. But it's like, what is the thing that's causing what's underneath the anger? What's the structure that's like supporting the anger? It's like, I'm like, I feel taken advantage of because this guy, like I'm so angry right now because I feel like he took this money from me. So what am I feeling about what I'm feeling? It's like like if you're angry, there's a lot of feelings you could have about that anger. This taking advantage of feeling, and I'd tap on the taking advantage of, and then I'd be like, I feel like oh, I would really if you're. It takes a lot of practice and intuition, and that's why working with somebody that's been doing it for a long time can lead you there really, really fast. And I was working with some other like practitioners that have helped me get through some really big stuff, and it would be like um, it's it'll be something like that. The anger might be something that reminded you of, it brings you back to a memory when you were 5 that was similar to, that's what's really triggering the anger now, is this old memory that's in there, and your subconscious mind feels like, oh, this new thing is just like that old thing that happened to you, and that's why there's the intensity to it. So it's like trying to find out what the feeling is, or the memory, or that's the structure that's holding that anger up, and then directing the tapping. Because I tapped like I would tap for till I'm blue in the face, tap till you pass out, and it's just like my hands hurt, my forehead hurts, everything hurts, but it's still not going away. And then when I learned some, like in this level 1 course here, it really gets into like some of the nuts and bolts about how to identify what the structure is underneath the problems, and then you can go in with like surgical precision. And you it also, there is like an intuitive knack where some people, the more you get, more experience you have, the more references you have, and the more intuitive you become. So the more you practice as you build these things. But I found as I went through that, I was always in the beginning tapping on, oh, I'm mad, or I'm angry, or I'm whatever. But it's usually the thing that's underneath it, or a couple levels underneath it, that's really the issue. And if you figure out through the level 1 course how to more direct towards those things, it'll make a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying, if there's a feeling of I'm getting taken advantage of, and that can become so aggravating and anger. And so, but where is the deeper layer? When did you felt taken advantage of before? Like, where is it coming from? Where's the root of the problem? Or who else got felt that they got taken advantage of? So you just want to go to the structure of the problem, go to the art of to change questions. And then it's not as near and dear to our heart anymore. We're not taking it so personally, right? And when we are not taking it so personally, then it's much easier to take care of the memories. It's not as um, strong.
And
Okay, there's the root. It's like,
you can actually, like, I found for me, like, I when I was angry and the problem wasn't going away and I just kept tapping on the anger, it can actually sometimes reinforce that anger in you, because now you're focusing on the anger and you're just trying harder and harder and you want it to go and you want it to leave, and it can build it. So sometimes, like you said with the taking advantage of, it's like I had one of those memories too where I was being taken advantage of, and then underneath it was, oh, I'm being taken advantage of just like my mother was always being taken advantage of. And it went back to something I had learned from my mom, where she would, be kind of she'd be, she was so nice and kind and loving, and she'd get taken advantage of. So I learned how to do that pattern. I learned it from her without knowing, because you want to be just like mom. And if you love mom, you're going to replicate how mom acts and behaves. And so all of a sudden, under that taking advantage of, it really was like, okay, I forgive myself for being like mom. Yeah, mom's okay. Mom's healthy. It's okay that that happened. I let it go. Let all the stuff with mom go. And then the anger went away. So it's like this, like, it's like a bank shot in pool. It's like you bounce it off the side and then it hits another ball. It doesn't always come in directly like that. It usually comes in on some angle that you weren't expecting. That, and sometimes in the moment, if you do tap right directly on it, that will work sometimes. But if you notice it's not working, then it's probably going to be like a double bank shot to get you in there. You got to kind of go at something else to indirectly to find it.
exactly. Like, what are we doing inside of us to create that problem? Like, how are we allowing it in our life? How are we creating it? So, art of change helps with all that. Hey, Cami, would you like to share something?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I remember
Yes.
tapping and just feeling like, just like you said, like this isn't working. And then I needed to tap on that. This isn't working. I needed to tap on, well, I'm so frustrated that nothing works for me. And there's a deeper memory attached to that as well, right? But one of the things, like when I was tapping on myself, I think it was level 3 when I realized, I was like, here I am focusing on all this negative. I know how to focus on the positive. And so what I would do is after tapping, I would spend as much time, I would actually time it to see how long can I feel in my happy memory. And then I would go back and check it. And it was amazing. The longer I stayed in my happy memory, the less important that other feeling became.
That's funny. Yeah,
And I'm
I
like,
like
well,
that
if you
idea.
know how to feel good, just do it. Sometimes we're like, I don't want to feel good. I'm mad. But
Yes.
if it could interrupt it long enough to even get a second of happy feeling or 2 seconds or just a breath, then I could go back and just quickly, whatever I noticed, all the ways things don't work for me, and then go back to my happy memory as quickly as possible and stay there as long as I could. Does that help? Because that's the resistance. We don't want to stay in our happy memory. So another neuroscientist, David Bayer, he says, maybe I said this last time. He says, um, oh, what is it? Result plus or desired result plus
Desire.
resistance equals, go ahead, desire plus resistance equals,
What I have written down is desire minus resist.
yes, equals
Desire.
desired result. That's right. So you have a desire, and if you just take out the resistance, like you want to feel good, but this person did this thing and that happened, and then you take out the resistance to just feeling good, you get your desired result.
Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tammy.
So
I love
stay in
it.
your happy memory as long as you can, and then go back and check. When you're working with a practitioner, then you can kind of handle some of those really deep things that just feel like they're not budging for you. But otherwise, you're kind of in that I'm trying so hard, and that's a pattern too, an unwanted pattern.
Yes. Yeah, or trying hard and just like you need to try hard. Perhaps that could be a pattern. Yeah. Yeah. But I like it, stay in your happy memory as long as you can, because as you said, that's what we ultimately want. We want to be in our happy places. And so if you can stay there longer, then the hold of that bad memory can just weaken over time and hopefully fast.
Yeah, I found the
Yeah.
power is less the longer, and that just makes sense with neuroplasticity that the more time we spend in something, the easier it is to fall into that pattern. So that can be helpful when we're working on ourselves to quickly just go to your happy memory, stay there, and then go back and check and stay in the happy memory. So
Exactly.
I gotta head out.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's why, like, Robert says, like, work on your happy journal, do daily gratitude, and, just create and collect as many proofs and references that life is good. We don't have to be in the bad, and then you can just go knock them off much faster.
It's like a bank account kind of. It's like there's two ways to have more money. You can spend less or you can earn more. So you can take away all the negative memories, or you can add better memories. And like that bank account will be going up and down. If you're always focusing on taking stuff away without adding, you're going to go into a deficit as well. So you got to be at the happy journal. You're working on the negative. Usually in my experience, the negative comes first, and that's where a lot of systems don't really focus, that they just add all the positive stuff and they don't get rid of the negative, and the negative has so many references internally that it will overcome the positive ones when you're triggered. So you've got to get the negative down first, but you also have to be adding that positive to get to that place as well, so you have that emotional bank account full. You want to be feeling good, and you want to feel yeah, but that's kind of a way that I've sort of thought of it as well.
Absolutely. So true. So true. Thank you, Jason. Yeah. Anyone else would like to share with this? Why does tapping work? All right. Okay. So let's see. So we have the next page, 73. Who would like to read that? I can read. Tapping on the meridian points does three things. It disrupts the signals that travel along the electrochemical system, working within the mind-body connection and creating a pattern interrupt. It interrupts the message from the brain to the body. So one is the pattern interrupt. Number two is tapping is also a relaxation process. It brings us to the present moment where your brain is introducing a relaxed feeling to the memory, and it updates it with a new perception physically, emotionally, and mentally. And three, your mind shifts from the reality of the past memory to the present moment where it's not happening now. I'm here and I'm safe. So relaxation, we come back to the present moment, and disrupting the signal. So those are the three things. Yeah. All right. I guess we can skip through the meridian chart with Robert's little points and stuff, and we can let's see. There's some here important facts about tapping. Tactics is not about tapping. Tactics is a thinking system that uses meridian tapping as one of many tools. So just tapping on the meridians is one of many tools. We can just use all kinds of tools. We have other tools as we learn more and more in the other next levels, and but also like we can just do all kinds of funny things. You know, we can laugh like a donkey, we can quack like a chicken, or quack like a duck, whatever. So it's one of the many tools. Tapping on the meridian points interrupts the signals between the brain and the organs that produce the stress chemicals, and it also serves as a defractionation tool. All right. So good point about that is we don't have to tap until we are blue. We just have to disrupt enough to go to the happy memory and stay in the happy memory and then come back and check. Is that coming back and checking is what puts the good feeling into the bad memory and it changes it. Okay. So fractionation and defractionation. Who would like to? Oh, we actually are over time. So it's already 11:06. So we will come back and do this next week again. So next week, let's get into the fractionation and defractionation and structure of changes and flipping a memory. All right. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all the good insights and good examples. Thank you very much. See you all
Thanks so
next
much.
week. Thank you, Mary. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good week. Bye.
Tristy, do you mind if I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, please do.
So I'm working on my like level 1 stuff. I'm for the notes, it's on the videos, not the book, right?
Oh, wait. Okay, so you're working on the level. Can you say that again? For the
Uh,
notes?
for the level 1 certification, the
Oh, yeah,
notes
the
are on
notes.
videos, not the book itself, right?
Yeah, that's what I did. Notes on the
Okay.
videos.
I just wanted,
Mm-hmm.
I'm halfway through and I realized I never asked and I was like, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. And I just wanted to make sure and I knew you
Oh,
knew,
yeah,
so.
no problem. Yes, that's what I did. What I did was I kind of submitted on every video. I had my notes,
Okay.
and then I did 20 points, kind of like just, we have to do the 20 points, just kind of overall of
Okay,
the
yeah. Okay,
different
I just
points.
wanted to make sure I was doing it right before I get all the way through and someone's like
Awesome. Yes,
doing
totally.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Have a great day.
You have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so good to